You're listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Thanks for joining me today. Wow. I've interviewed a lot of people.
You sure have.
A lot. Very exciting. A lot of exciting guests. I never thought I'd be doing this.
Couple duds.
Couple duds along the way. Freaking duds. Thanks for listening. If you're here for Jay Mohr, you found the right place. If you end up liking this interview and go, hey, he doesn't suck as an interviewer, I would love if you followed us and subscribe to the show and give this podcast a little chance. We've had some great guests. So you just have to look down the rabbit hole of all the guests we've done. But I think you'll really enjoy it. We talk about mental health, life, real stuff, not actory stuff. I try to stay away from that if I can. Every once in a while we do impressions and stuff. So,
oh yeah. But
what are you going to do? If you want to support this podcast, we rely on our patrons. If you want to go to Patreon, Patreon, patreon.com/inside of you and join and give back to the podcast, that would be great. We have so many wonderful patrons, top tiers, grand tiers, or no, there's the new tier is the how deep is your love tier. And then there's the top tier and the other tiers, but the how deep is your love tier is pretty cool. In fact, you'll be on the show.
Really?
Right. If you join, I interview you for, a couple minutes at the end of an episode and we talk about, anything you want to talk about.
Do we all have to do a 3-part harmony like the Bee Gees do?
Nobody gets too much heaven. A few things. If you want to go to my Instagram at the Michael Rosenbaum, the link tree is there, and you can find everything I'm doing: cameos, cons, the Smallville cruise, the convention in Chicago, all that and more. And you can find Rosie's Puppy Fresh Breath for your dogs. It's right here. It's me on the cover too. Well, it's the dogs and I'm in the back, but it's just a capful for your dog. In their water, it's odorless, tasteless, and your dog's breath. If it's not good, I strongly suggest giving this a shot. I use it on my dogs every day. It's so easy. You just drop it in the water in the morning, and they don't know. They're like, "Why is my breath better?" I'm like, "Because I care about you. I care about you." And my fart book is available on Amazon, the Talented Farter Sound Book. So please check that out on Amazon and get a copy if you want. And the Inside of You online store has tons of cool stuff. Smallville scripts and what have you. Did I say what have you? Who says that?
You sure did.
What have you, what not? What's the other saying that people say that's just stupid? What have you?
And so on.
And such.
Etc.
Jay Mohr is here. And I've known Jay for a long time. He's been in the industry for a long time. Been in a lot of movies that stood the test of time. He's still working and still doing comedy. And I've never seen him this happy. I think, this is, he went through a lot and we get into it. And I really appreciate it. I really appreciated having him. It just was enlightening. I see him at the Laker games and I see him, oh, hey, and we talk for a second. But, there's so many people. And then having a one-on-one with Jay, I got to know him and I really had fun. And Jay, I consider you a friend, my friend. And why don't we just do it? Why don't we get inside Jay Mohr? It's my point of view. You're listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum was not recorded in front of a live studio audience. Have you always had a large personality, Jay?
That's the nicest way anybody's ever put it.
No, it's like you have a great personality, but I just wonder if it's like.
Have you always worn people out?
I wear people out. Like when I was younger, it was just like I was always on because I needed attention because I didn't get it from my family. So I needed attention. So I would kind of lash out and try to do what I can.
Same. Yeah, I was always bonkers. And then it wasn't until I started doing stand-up where I was able to go, oh, I can take all this energy and harness it like wild horses into this one area. You know what I mean? Like, I could just focus this on doing stand-up and going crazy, just writing, performing, traveling, going all over the place.
But don't you think it comes out of a place like, for me, it's anxiety. And I didn't know I had anxiety growing up, but I had tons of anxiety.
It's my moat. Like a moat around a castle. I can keep you on my side of the moat with it, or I can keep you on that side of the moat with it. So, I and like love bombing, I'm a big love bomber back in the day. Like
Love everybody.
Inundate you with stuff. Just overwhelm you with stuff. Here's a meme. Here's this. Here's a YouTube clip. Here's this. I drew this for you. I mailed this to you. Like, just don't.
Why do you think you do that?
I need you to like me.
Really?
Oh, yeah. That's my first addiction is your approval.
And what do you think caused that? Because for me, it's obviously we didn't like ourselves.
I don't know if I didn't like myself or I just, me, it's more like, where is everybody? Like child of an alcoholic, youngest by 5 years with an alcoholic parent and a dad that worked in Manhattan from New Jersey. It was just like, I'm alone a lot. So I think if I get you, there's an anxiety of like, you're not going to leave.
Abandonment issues.
But not even over, just like a low key abandonment issue, but also I do get a euphoria from the connection. I do love this.
You love connection.
But then I love it on my terms. Like, that's why I love stand up. It's like, look at me. Show's over. I'm going to go to my hotel room. It's quiet. And I'm just going to watch like To Catch a Smuggler for 2 hours. Or watch Catfish or something.
I just watched I read an article that was like,
I watched an article. It's great, by the way.
I watched this article, but I sent it to my friend, and it was like, it kind of made me a little nervous. And it was like, if you watch those crime shows, researchers find that people. Oh no, that's researchers find that people without children tend to be happier. That's a different article.
I believe that.
Was something along the lines of that the people that are addicted to crime shows and that's what they watch before they go to bed, there's something deeply disturbed about them.
No, I don't think that's true.
I hope not.
No, it's stupid.
You think it's stupid?
Everything's sensationalized. Everything's either blue or red or like great for you or bad. Everything's you got to do the cold plunge. You got to do intermittent fasting.
Do you do any of it?
No, I like comfort. My body, I have this weird human body that's perfectly designed to fight infection and regulate itself upon my arrival into the world as a 3-pound premature fetal alcohol syndrome baby. It fights its own, it's like, oh, no wonder I only lived to be 90. I wasn't cold plunging and squeeze out that 92.
Scientists say that if you cold plunge, like where's all this science? How long have they been doing this?
It's your lymphatic system and yeah, okay. Right.
Every time, how many times for a while though, admit it, you would screenshot certain things because you're like, I want to, and you never try it.
I'll screenshot exercises that I'll see, like some chick with like the cord going through her, like I'll see like a certain, that sounds very weird. I screenshot exercises to remember to do them.
I can't even visualize it.
I'm a bit of a fitness nut, Michael.
You are now.
Well, as Colin Quinn would say, it's one way.
That's a perfect Colin Quinn.
Well, that's one way of looking at it.
Do you think Colin Quinn's really funny?
He's amazingly funny.
Really, because I knew him from like Remote Control Continues, and all that stuff. I've never really seen his stand up.
Watch History of the World when he just does the entire history of the world in an hour and breaks down
Brilliant.
Ottoman Empire, the Iraq War, all like why, yeah.
All right,
Islam. It's all daddy issues, No, you like my friend? You like my card? You can have my card. Oh, he's the best. Colin Quinn's a guy that when I watch, when I write, sometimes I'll go like, well, if Norm Macdonald was writing this exact bit, what are the tags? Because then your brain goes to a different direction, And then if Colin Quinn's like the go-to guy for me, like, well, what would Colin say?
Yeah.
Because he's so smart.
Do you like Dennis Miller?
Oh, the album.
See, I see that you love Bill Hicks.
Yeah, the album I listened to more than any rock and roll album was Dennis Miller, the Off-White album. I had it on cassette, and when I was doing stand-up, I had the Beastie Boys, Paul's Boutique, Miles Davis, Kind of Blue, and Dennis Miller, the Off-White album, and it's just over and over.
What about when you were a kid, though? What was funny to you? Who were the comedians that you were going, oh, I want to be like?
Just all of it. Like, I just loved it. I loved like Star Search. Anytime they had the comedians
Ed
on.
McMahon.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Hot Property.
I worked with Ed. I did a show with him. It was the worst show in the history of television.
I worked with Ed too. You want to know?
Did you, Johnny?
Yeah. You really think you're fooling everybody?
What'd you work with Ed McMahon on?
Cold. It's so cold. I saw Robin putting his worm in the microwave. Yes. It was called The Tom Show, The Tom Arnold Show. and it was ranked 132 out of 131 shows.
What was 131?
I don't know, but it was really bad. And Ed McMahon was on the show.
I'm surprised I didn't screen test for that and not get it.
It was my. You know what sucks?
What did Ed McMahon play?
He played like the guy who owned the TV station. But like I remember, I got a show and I went out to California and I thought I made it. I was so excited. I'm on a TV show. I'm a regular. I'm working at Universal, and nobody cared.
Yeah.
And it really hurt my ego.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, that show's terrible, or no, it was like I finally am a working actor and nobody gives a shit. Now you think that would be okay for me because I'm working and I'm making money, but like in my head I was always like I want people to recognize me.
Yeah, that shows what your intentions were going in for sure. Mine were also that.
In what show? Or just the business?
Camp Wilder was my first sitcom. And that was on ABC on TGIF. Thank goodness it's funny.
Oh yeah.
And it was after like, Step by Step, Family Matters, and Dinosaurs.
And that was your first show?
Yeah. Jerry O'Connell, Hilary Swank, me, Jared Leto. It was nuts.
Was it good?
It was all right. It was a little confusing. It was like we live with the parents have died. Always comedy gold. Mary Page Keller is the oldest sister.
Mary Page Keller. I worked with her.
She's incredible.
She's great.
And her
I
husband
had a crush on her.
Oh, who didn't? And her husband's an animal.
Is he just rich?
No, he's like
strong,
like a kung fu movie guy.
Oh, I don't remember that, but I remember Mary Page Keller.
Yeah,
she's probably our age now, a little older. Yeah,
she was on Mad Men.
But you were saying you went into that show thinking you're going to get attention for it.
Oh yeah, like and even into like Jerry Maguire. The movie comes out and you walk around like the amount of people that see an actual movie in the theater is infinitesimal.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put it out of my mind to save my ego and my pride. And then I remember I was in New York, it came out on DVD, and then people start kind of doing double takes when I'm walking down the street. And I was like, oh, I got how this business works all wrong.
Yeah.
Like the DVD is the DVD.
That's where it's at.
Everyone.
The laser disc.
I
still have a laser disc player.
Really?
And like 50 to 60 laser discs.
What do you watch on it? Rhinestone?
Nothing. I don't watch it. It's in my closet. It's not hooked up, but I have like the Jaws with the commentary and the book and there's outtakes in Jaws that no one's seen, but there's like this old guy that Spielberg hired thinking he was just a regular.
Robert Shaw?
No, he was like 90, but he had a scene with Robert Shaw and he thinks, oh, I could get this 90-year-old to get these lines out. And the guy's like, I quit, Mr. Quint. I quit. I ain't going that old slab, no crazy shack. And then Spielberg goes, all right, I quit, Mr. Quint. I quit, Mr. Quint. I quit. And it's just like he can't get this guy to say the lines. But it's like that's what the Laserdisc had. It had all these special things in the Benchley book. And
usually when there's commentary, I hate it. Because I just like the product of the film.
You never listen to commentary?
With the exception of The Sopranos, I watched something where they were all doing commentary and I was just in awe. I don't remember anything particular about it, but
you just were engaged.
And I went back and watched it and recorded the entire season because they were rerunning it on like HBO or something. And
why is it that it takes us so long to stop worrying about what people think? Why is it that no matter what you tell people, they still care about what people think? I'm much better than I was. I was like, it was like, I didn't get the love and affection at home. I didn't get anything. So for me, that's all it was.
See, I thought that was true for me. And I'm going to come back to your question. I thought that was true for me. But when I really take an honest look through an unbiased lens, it was a pretty reliable place.
Home?
Yeah. Like I was just an insatiable kid.
So you're putting the blame on yourself.
Well, yeah, all my problems are because of me. It's just 101.
I don't believe that.
Oh,
I believe that some of your problems are caused by other people that you then have to fix and work out.
But I've done something along the way to step on toes that's like butterfly affects it. It's something
innate,
something inherent. We're all wired for selfishness. And when you're an alcoholic or a drug addict, it overflows into all the other buckets in your life. So going back to your question, The primal urges, we just know thirst, hunger, sex are the ones we talk about the most to get a species to stay a species. But being popular is absolutely a primal urge. If I don't like you, I'm going to vote you out of the tribe. We're going to club you to death on the next hike.
Jesus.
So being popular is one of those things that sustain a species. That's evolutionary psychology. To be popular means you're in the group, you're in the middle, you're part of something, you're working, you're valuable. You're valuable. People like you. But when that need to be popular overflows into thirst, hunger, sex,
power,
money, then it becomes.
And you were an alcoholic.
I am an alcoholic. Yeah.
So you say you're an alcoholic, but you don't drink anymore.
No.
But once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Do you still crave it?
No. That got separated pretty quickly for me. I got sober at 50. So it's like,
how old are you?
54.
Oh, so you just got sober.
I mean, if you want to minimize 3 years and 11 months, sure. I mean,
I'm not minimizing it.
That's just a before Abraham I am.
Did you
fucking timeless wizard over here. Mr. Millennium. I forgot you were Mr. Millennium.
Wait, you've only been sober for 3? Fuck you. That's it? No, I didn't mean that. But did you have an intervention?
Yeah, you don't know this?
I might have known.
I got like the best intervention story of all time.
Please.
I'm not going to tell it on this podcast. I'll do it on one where, with an audience.
People, are you kidding me?
You have to tell a drug addict a lie to get us to an intervention because you can't outthink us. We think we're always playing 3-dimensional chess because we don't want to get caught. So you got to trick us. You can't just say like, hey, why don't you come on over? We all want to talk to you. It's like, no, I don't think so. No way. So the lie they told me to trick me for my podcast, More Stories, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and of course YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. I appreciate that very much.
Yes, listen to his podcast. I mean, because the one thing about you, and I want you to continue, is that I said to Ryan before he came in, is like you are honest. You don't even your stand up. Sometimes you say shit. I'm like, oh my god, did that really happen? I went and saw you at the Comedy Store, or the Laugh Factory once, and Genie was there, and you said some shit, and we were looking at each other like, what?
But that just plays into the wanting to be liked. I
didn't know if it was true or not.
Yeah, it's true. It might be embellished, but that's just my life hack to get you to keep looking at me. You know what I mean?
It worked.
Yeah.
Inside of You is brought to you by Rocket Money. Guys, listen up if you want to save money. I'm being serious. If you want to save money, you want to listen to this ad, because this is a great sponsor. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Ryan's used them. So many people have used Rocket Money that it's just incredible how everyone isn't doing this. Mm-hmm. Look, how many times are you watching a streamer and you're like, oh, I don't have this streamer. It's called Fluby or something. And you're like, but they have this one show I want to watch. And then you watch the show, but you forget your free trial's over, and now you're paying $14.99 a month, and now you're down $150 at the end of the year. Mm-hmm. And this number keeps growing. These guys at Rocket Money help put a stop to that.
See all of your subscriptions in one place and know exactly where your money is going. For ones you don't want anymore, Rocket Money can help you cancel them.
Rocket Money Dashboard gives you a clear view of your expenses across all of your accounts. Easily create a personalized budget with custom categories to help keep your spending on track. See your monthly spending trends in each category to know exactly where your money is going.
Rocket Money will even try to negotiate lowering your bills for you. They automatically scan your bills to find opportunities to save. Then you can ask them to negotiate for you. They'll deal with the customer service so you don't have to.
Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/inside today. That's rocketmoney.com/inside. rocketmoney.com/inside. Today's show is sponsored by strawberry.me. Listen, a lot of you out there, including Ryan and myself, we work hard and to get somewhere. That's the goal. But sometimes we get into a rut and we don't know what to do. We could talk to our friends, but they don't know anything. They're not experienced. They're not trained specialists to know what's going on. They're not career coaches. And career coaching is brilliant. I have learned so much from it. For instance, one of the things that I started doing was I got a whiteboard and scheduling my events for the week. I write a list of all the things I need to do. And my career coach says, just circle 3 of them and get those done for the week. And then off to the next 3. And things I want to do with my health. And there's so many little things that I've learned by career coaching that have helped me throughout the years. And I want to help you. So I know it works. And this just isn't generic advice. It's personalized, results-driven coaching experience that uncovers your hidden strengths. It gives you the strategies to stand out and move up faster. And most importantly, it keeps you accountable so you follow through and you make real progress.
At Strawberry.me Career Coaching, we help professionals like you take the next step with confidence. We'll match you with a career coach who gets your challenges and goals.
Yes, it's so amazing once you sit down with someone and talk to someone who specializes in this, and they know your weaknesses. Believe it. They'll be like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And they're like, "Okay, well, let's try this. Let's try," and things that you're like, "Wow, why didn't I do this forever ago?" Your next opportunity is out there. Let's make sure you're ready for it. Get started today at strawberry.me/inside and claim your $50 credit. That's strawberry.me/inside, because your career success shouldn't wait. It worked.
So for my podcast, for my intervention, I was told that for my podcast the next morning at 8 a.m., I was going to interview Wu-Tang Clan. And I was so high, I thought that was true. I thought Wu-Tang Clan was coming over to my house at 8 o'clock in the morning. I thought, so I stayed up all night preparing for a great, even you got some questions in this. Like no woo was going unturned.
This was their ploy.
Yeah. Skylar Stone, comedian, said, he goes, I got you RZA, and I think we got the rest of Wu-Tang. And I was like, all right. And then for the next 2 weeks, he was emailing me from a dummy account as RZA to coordinate this podcast. So it was like zig.
That's kind of, I mean,
it's brilliant. Zig
it's
Ziglar.
Brilliant, but it's also like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but I mean, it got me in the room.
So you're sitting there.
I walk in. First of all, an intervention's like the worst surprise party you'll ever be at. You walk in and everybody you love is there, and you're like, "Hey!"
And they don't look happy.
Oh no! You turn into like a demon. You curse out your grandma. Like, you lied.
Were you
to me.
angry?
You lied to me, you old bitch. You're a liar. You go,
you old hag. Why would you fight with you?
You go crazy.
Did you?
No. I just kind of like the air completely came out of my being, and I was just
all right. Talk.
Yeah, and my interventionist was a skinhead, and he had like a swastika tattooed to his head.
A former skinhead.
Yeah, that he was having a swastika removed, but not.
If you drink alcohol and you're an alcoholic when you stop drinking, is he still a skinhead?
That's a good question. I don't know if it's worth trampling on my joke for it.
No, sorry.
I don't know if that's.
Go ahead.
So he was a former, and he had no teeth.
Yeah.
He was an old meth guy. He smoked his teeth out. So it's the most important day of my life. And he's like real earnest, like,
these people, they love me so much.
Oh my
But
God.
they don't want to love me to death.
It was nuts. And
Okay.
it was a fast intervention. 8 minutes in, I go, just so you guys know, I'm going.
That was it?
Well, that's circumstance, not virtue. I'm an approval addict. The fastest way to get a room of people that were very upset with me to be happy with the dancing boy again was just to agree to what they were offering. And then so I was like, yeah, I'm going. But I knew, like, I could not stop doing drugs. I could not stop.
Did you hear whose story got you?
I didn't, I learned that Genie bought another house, and if I didn't go to treatment, she was going to move and not tell me where she went. I learned that every time somebody visited me, they were doing welfare checks on my sons to see if they were okay. And it was just, there's 11 people in a room crying about how frightened they are and how terrible things are. And they can't, it's really just like a come to Jesus moment of they can't all be lying. The odds of this being
A joke.
everyone's overreacting is. But I also knew like I'm spending $50,000 a year on Adderall with a
Adderall.
Oh, helps you focus on getting more Adderall. Eventually, it's all it is. It's a full-time job.
You know, I think also, tell me if I'm wrong, but
He said that like Columbo.
Adderall. No kidding.
Adderall.
No
The
kidding.
funny thing is, you were taking Carasoprodol.
anyway,
Isn't that?
You're the best.
he used to do that. He used to- he would be like,
You said you're left-handed, but you shot with the right. I was just wondering if...
Yeah, you know what?
Thank you.
I like when he goes, you're probably right. It's probably not.
It's nothing.
I also love that all the crimes, you know, Law and Order, they got a guy like peeing in an alley. They catch him. They chase him down into like garbage cans. And in Columbo, it's like, Lieutenant, I'm in the middle of my symphony. Like I'm literally about to launch my yacht.
yeah.
I know. But if I could just, I don't have a pencil.
Do you
It's all right. I'll remember.
do you
A bit I had that never worked was Columbo trying to solve 9/11. Box cutters. That's it.
that's all you need. That's
Box
the line.
cutters.
Box cutters.
And nobody.
Do you think in the intervention it was also the feeling that, wow, these people love me. They actually love me.
Oh no. These
Mm.
people, they did me dirty. I thought Genie did the intervention. It was my agent. I thought Genie did my intervention. So I was just like, oh wow, you're gonna do me like that. And when I was packing for like, how do you pack for rehab? Like, what do you're like, I don't know what to bring. So
It's
I'm just,
depression. You just bring one pair of sweatpants and a t-shirt.
I had a backpack and I was just angry packing and I just stared at her the whole time. I didn't say nothing.
Really?
And then when I got to rehab, all I had was 14 pairs of socks. And then I had to call her, like, could you bring me pants?
No, you didn't.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
Here's the big ask from rehab. Could you bring me pistachios and some orange Gatorade? Like, that's where you're at.
How
You just behave so they give you an ice cream sandwich at the end of the night.
how do you feel now, honestly?
It's the greatest thing that ever happened to me.
And
I am free between my ears. People between here. I don't know why.
between here.
I called your chair a shirt before. I think I'm got a tumor. I'm like, where'd you get that shirt? You're like, what?
So you feel like there's just this weight off your back?
I'm free. I'm not obsessing over drugs or alcohol. I wake up with a quiet mind. I wake up with purpose. Guys call me for help and I get to help them.
Wow.
It's incredible.
Yeah. Who's the guy who goes to the Lakers with you?
Cowboy Dan says
Cowboy
hi.
Dan. I fucking love him. Isn't he your sponsor?
Yeah.
He's like,
He's amazing.
dude, I
Oh,
can't.
I like that guy. Tell him I said hi.
About you this
That's
morning.
how he sounds.
You had the heckle of the year last year.
What was it?
Herder, you're a child. I couldn't even get it out.
Who did I say?
Herder, H-U-E-R.
Oh, because he looks like a kid.
He looks like Doogie Howser. I think he was on the Hawks. And I
Just
was
a
yelling,
random. He does.
I am hammering Trey Young, calling him baby hair. And I got a baby hair chant. Baby hair, baby hair. And then just from behind me here, Herder, you're a child. And it was so great because A, it's hilarious because he does. You would never yell at a guy. You're like, you don't look like a child. You are a child. Herder, you're a child. But you changed your voice to be older for maximum efficacy. Herder, you're a child.
Oh, God.
Herder, you're a child.
Those games are so fun when we're just
I love
riffing.
when you're there.
And I love that, you know, it's like Jeannie's the owner of the Lakers and she just likes when people are having a good time.
Yeah.
She just wants us like, she invites probably a lot of boring people to the games. So we're like, oh, hi,
I
Jeannie, and
think
this.
You'd be surprised how many of them invite themselves, but sure.
But like when I come with the guys and you're there, it's just, I have so much fun because it just,
The games are the best when you're there.
when I'm there,
Oh, yeah, yeah. You're awesome. Like you're
Thanks,
you're a
dude.
great hang. Like I love every time I see.
I didn't even know that. I didn't know if you liked me. I'm surprised you did the podcast. I thought you were going to say, I don't like you.
No, see, I used to, before I got sober, that's exactly what I would have said. And I would have kept you on your heels on the other side of the moat.
I didn't know. I was like, I don't know if Jay likes me. I think he does.
Bro, I
We get
think you're
along.
phenomenal. This
Thanks,
is great.
dude. See, I need that.
What are you doing after this?
Oh, I don't know. What are you doing?
You know, when you come to the game, it's the best. And you know, it. What was I just going to say about that? You have I heckled Ben Simmons, and security told me I'd have to, if I didn't stop, I'd have to leave. But it wasn't NBA security. It was his fucking bum security.
So you didn't have to listen to them?
Because he's a bum. He's a fucking bum. Look up that contract.
Ben Simmons.
He's the 6'10" point guard from LSU that passes up open layups because he freaks out. And he like kicks it out.
And you were saying you're a bum?
He was taking a free throw because he never plays. He's like Kawhi Leonard East. And he was taking a free throw, and I went, "It's the ghost of Ben Simmons." Whoa!
Were people dying?
Oh yeah, and I got the hand on me, and I was like,
Hey man,
and I felt
You don't
I'm
wanna
sitting
do that.
right next to Genie,
don't do that.
so I was like, ugh. He goes, "You can say his number, you can't say his name." And then Genie goes, "You know, that's not NBA security, that's his security." And then I was like, "He's a bum."
Oh my God. Let me ask you this. Let me jump to this. Was Jerry Maguire, honestly, did you audition for it?
Yeah, for 3 different parts.
How many auditions? Well, 3. I knew you were going to say that, but I was Ryan, you all right over there? It's just it's like Arthur and Dudley Moore when he's like got the old guy who can't walk in the room, and the old guy's like this. He's like,
Do you have these are jokes. This is called comedy.
he's like,
Can I get you the
No, I
page?
just keep picking him up in my periphery. I forget Jimmy?
no,
What's your
Ryan.
name? All
That's
right.
Ryan Tist.
I thought it was Blanche.
That's Ryan. That's Ryan.
Jerry Maguire, I auditioned to be. See how I play for the editor? You like that?
Yeah, I like it.
Jerry Maguire, I auditioned to be the football player played by Jerry O'Connell, and I blew my Southern accent that day. Like I just couldn't get my act together. And then they said, "Well, you know, did you read the script?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." They said, "There's the part of the male nanny. Maybe you could do that." And I was like, "I'll do whatever." And so I go out in the hallway, and they go out, read it, and come back when you're ready. And I was like, "Ooh, pressure's on." But the male nanny, it's when Brad DeLuiso plays it and says, "Hold on, I want you to use this if you're going out with her tonight." And you think he's going to give Tom a condom, but he hands him a jazz cassette. I had that cassette. So I knew every musician. And what Cameron Crowe wrote was Miles Davis. And it's basically all the musicians from Kind of Blue, which I told you I wore out. And I'm like, Miles Davis, Cannonball Adderley, John Coltrane, 2 dueling saxophone. Like I felt how he wrote about that recording. So I was just.
Were you riffing?
No, I knew what
you just knew exactly what he was feeling.
What he wrote. I already knew Tony Williams was on drums at 18 years old. I already knew that Bill Evans was on one of only 2 white guys Miles Davis ever worked with, and the other guy was Gil Evans.
So why didn't you get that part?
Because after
Why aren't you him?
After when I read it, there was a weird quiet, and then Jim Brooks goes, "What about Sugar?" And I was like, "Whoa." I don't know why I did Owen Wilson for Jim Brooks.
I don't know. It's like I can do that role, but I know
Jim Brooks
this,
is Jennifer Coolidge.
I don't
It's
know. I know
crazy.
this Kind of Blue, but like
That's what you do. You move your jaw like Drew
Yeah, it's
Barrymore.
like,
Now I
know.
can do it better.
it's like I know my nose is like larger than Luke's.
It
but
looks like a penis.
it kind of does. I was thinking about. I don't know. That's really. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm just, when you see me in a movie, you feel good about it. I fucking love that guy.
I love Owen Wilson.
So I was like, I'm not going to go in the hallway to learn Bob Sugar and come back. Because I knew
it's meaty.
That's the antagonist of the whole thing. So
Mhm.
they were like, "Yeah, we'll see you next week." So they gave me like a week.
And you had it down.
Bro, you could have woken me up and just said any line in any of the sides.
That prepared.
Yeah, and I did it in Australian, I did it in gay, I did it Southern, I did it like I'll do it in different dialects, so it just becomes so.
Wow. And did you know you got it when you were done?
Don't we all? But I feel that way when I don't get it too. when I'll kill something and be like, and then crickets.
I let it go. I always throw the sides away before I leave the room. I'm done. That's
Yeah.
it. I know I did everything. I feel good.
If they don't, I know I got it, but how many things do you get in your life? 50?
So they didn't tell you in the room that your agent called you.
They brought me back to read with Tom, and I was
Were
like,
you nervous?
no, because you've been reading with casting directors who are like, oh my God, I can't believe, I mean, we need them. They're like the gatekeepers, but you finally, you play golf and finally you get to play with the club pro.
Wow.
It's like, this is going to be great.
And he was nice as shit.
He tried to kill me with it. It was no like, it's all right. It was like, if you want to do this, we could have shot that.
Toe to toe.
And there was a moment where I have 2 lines back to back. I came here to fire you, Jerry. And there's that weird long pause. And I go, it's real. You should say something. And I waited so long. In my mind, I'm like, I wonder if he thinks I forgot my lines. And then I could feel they're wondering if I forgot my line. And I could just feel the balloon getting bigger and bigger.
And pop.
And then I went, it's real. You're sick. And they were like, everybody was like relieved. I was just staring at Tom Cruise like.
And then Tom was like, great job, man.
It was great. And I don't remember how long after that. I didn't get in the room. No, the only movie I got in the room was Mafia, where Jim Abrams, I only work for a guys named Jim. When Jim Abrams goes, so you want to do it? I'm like, yeah. And they go, well, we can pay it this much. And I was like, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that rarely happens.
14 million. No.
Yeah.
Comical.
I've never gotten a job in the room, but I've gotten fired in the room. Like
what?
Well, no, I didn't get the. I didn't get the
They
job.
hired you, then they fired you.
No, nothing. What's his name? Who directed? What's the movie?
Spielberg?
No, what's the movie with?
Sidney Lumet.
Now you're killing me. They go and they can't remember what happened the night before. All the guys. Hangover. So
you would have been great in Hangover.
I went in for Hangover, and I fucking just.
To play the guy nobody knows?
No, the guy with the Ed Helms character.
Oh.
And I went in there and he goes, the director, what's his name? Todd Phillips. He goes, I've never had this before. He knows. Ryan knows things. He goes, you're great. And I go, wow, thank you. And he goes, but you're the other character and we've already cast that. And I go, oh. He goes, but great job, man. That was fucking awesome.
They probably had an offer out to Ed Helms already.
I think Ed Helms, they said, walked into the room when he took out his tooth. And that, you do that too?
No.
How'd you lose your tooth?
What are you talking about? I didn't lose my tooth.
I just saw it. People are going to see it. You don't have to have that, but you like it for the effect.
I have implants. And I just got tired of sitting in the guy's chair. I'm like, just make me a flipper. I can't keep doing this. It's brutal. Next time I get anything done, they're putting me out.
Do you always have to clean that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you always what do you got to wash
do you
those?
brush your teeth?
Those things you got hands. You got to wash those every day?
Yeah. Do you learn lines easily?
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
You don't get nervous? Do you get nervous like acting?
It's directly related to my level of preparation. If I'm completely prepared, I get to a level of annoyance where I'm like, let's just do this already. Like making an amateur fighter wait so long to turn pro. And then by the time he's pro, he's so pissed off, he just murders the first 4 fights. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I just know it's so, like, let's go already.
Was Cameron Crowe really complimentary during the movie?
Yeah. And he's like a super quiet, low key, positive. He's like a breeze. He's just a gentle breeze.
Yeah, he's just really. I read with him for Almost Famous, and I sat there and ran the scene 3 times with him, and he just was like, "Hey, man, that was really great. Thank you."
Yeah, exactly.
Just like everything's fine.
And
Don't worry about it.
The scene after I fired Tom Cruise, we both rushed back to our offices and we're frantically making calls to try to get the clients, and so it was written like, hey, how are you? Did you hear what happened to Maguire? And then he just kept it rolling and he goes, he was never in a hurry. There was never we got to get this.
Man.
It was just the camera, we're still rolling. And he'd go, more money, more endorsements. And I'd go, more money, more endorsements. He goes, I go, more money, more endorsements, more money, more endorsements, more money, more endorsements. 1,000 channels, you want every one of them. He would just like put a pencil up to his mouth. 1,000 channels, you want every one of them. It's a new millennium. And I'd be like, and then he'd make like hands.
Are you good like when people yell shit to you?
Oh, I wish I could always act like that. I'll literally say to a director, just give me, if it's not, something's not working, I'm not being a dick at all. It's like,
say the line.
Give me a line reading and I will say that.
Say the same thing.
Like when I loop, I go, when you do ADR after the fact, I can't watch myself match my lips.
No.
It's like, let me just listen to it. I'm a good mimic.
You are, dude. You do so many impressions. I mean, we would do dueling walk-ins. We would do, I mean, you do everything. You have a really good ear. I was trying to do Dave Bautista for the first time yesterday.
Wow.
I know. I don't even know if you know what he sounds like. He's like, yeah, well, thanks a lot. I appreciate that.
That's also like kind of Liam Neeson. Every impression has a family.
Yeah. That's in the Liam Neeson's
like Colin Quinn, Harvey Keitel.
No, this next part is very difficult.
Yeah.
They're going to take you.
Yeah.
No, but
you're in the family.
I could just pick him up. Let me do that.
Like Colin Quinn is really also Harvey Keitel. It's very similar. The eyebrow. Look, I understand you're super fucking pissed.
That's great.
Joe, I don't know what you know, but he's a good kid. He was shot in the gut.
That's perfect.
I don't care how mad you are at me. That's not half as mad as Daddy's gonna be at us. Let's move some cars. It looks like Sam's hot car.
You know what?
Who am I looking at?
You know what realm that is in? Chris Penn. Chris Penn, he would do this thing in Resurrection. He's just gonna decide out of the fucking blue. Why don't you tell me what really happened?
What the hell for? That lump of shit is LAPD. Joe,
I'm a cop.
Larry, stop pointing that gun at my daddy.
That's so good. You guys remember that? Dude, it's so good. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Traditional in-person therapy, Ryan, can cost anywhere from $100 to $250 per session. But with BetterHelp Online Therapy, you can save on average up to 50% per session. Seriously, it's the best investment you can make. With BetterHelp, you pay a flat fee for weekly sessions, saving you big on cost and on time.
Therapy should feel accessible, not like a luxury. With online therapy, you get quality care at a price that makes sense and can help you with anything from anxiety to everyday stress.
Your mental health is worth it, and now it's within reach. Therapy from BetterHelp is helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. It's convenient, too.
You can join a session with the click of a button, helping you fit therapy into your busy life. Plus, switch therapists at any time.
Your well-being is worth it. Visit betterhelp.com/inside to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/inside. SNL, you wrote a freaking memoir, Gasping for Airtime. It says in the title, Gasping for Airtime. Was that whole show just gasping for like anything?
Well, for guys like you and me, if you want attention, an ensemble cast with people already entrenched and already stars, it's not going to go well for you if you need that validation constantly.
And you wanted it.
Well, yeah. I was an alcoholic, drunk, and I was a child. Herder, you're a child. I was a child. And I remember Jim Downey saying, well, why don't you go to the writers' offices and do some of your impressions for them? And I was like, what? Like, you want me to go door to door? And in hindsight, that's exactly what I should have done.
Ask for help or give
or just walk in and be like, I don't know if you know this, but I do Tracy Morgan. And I like a big girl with a doo-doo pamper.
Do you know him?
Cripple girl, stay wet. Yeah. I'm not going to fuck with you, Jay Morris. You legendary.
Do you know, I had an offer to work with him many years ago on a show where he was the lead. And I said, no, I couldn't do it because I was doing something else. But I deep down thought, I don't think he's going to like be on time a lot. I just had this
It's
picture.
so racist.
No, I just feel like he's gonna. I just felt like I felt like I don't know how easy he would be to work with. Is he easy to work with?
I never worked.
Never
with him.
worked with him.
I just worked with him in clubs where he was like 3 hours late because he's black.
No,
That's what you're saying.
It's not because he's black.
Why? Whoa, hey, yo.
No, listen to me. No,
Don't you love
no,
that-
Shell, you are going to Mitch and Murray. I am going there tomorrow, Shell. You. Yeah.
No, that's Friday. You forgot Tuesday.
No, I don't like you, Shell.
No, it's 5 business days.
You see this?
5 business days. Yeah, you counted wrong. You forgot the weekend.
Al Pacino.
Why do you keep telling him every impression like he's a fucking
He's younger
idiot?
than we are. He's only 33.
But he's got that messy
How old are
hair
you?
beard thing where he's hip. He's got that
36. He's very smart though.
the thing about
SNL.
Glengarry Glen Ross
Yeah.
is Alec Baldwin's part isn't in the play. I
Yes,
just came
yeah.
from downtown. I just came from Mitch and Murray. I told them to do a solid and to fire your fucking asses. Oh, do I have your attention now?
Third place.
You're fired. So that's not in the play. And then when they filmed the movie, it was like 80 minutes, which is not long enough to put in a theater. So David Mamet, my hero, is just like,
Yeah.
I'll be right back, and just writes this part. Then they go to shoot the part and they do it like once or twice through. And he goes, Roma would never sit through this. I'll be right back. And then he writes Roma out. So that's why it starts. Is everybody here? He goes, everybody except Roma. I'm going anyway. Like he can't hold Alec Baldwin. Like
I had no idea.
Alec Baldwin like can't hold it in anymore. He can't wait to tear these guys a new
He's
asshole.
so great. And every actor in that. What's his name? Who's like the guy he rips?
I used to sell. Yeah, it's a tough racket. That little fucking thing he does at the end.
Who's the actor who's like, I'm the bombardier. I'm the bombardier.
Jack Lemmon?
No. My wife, she's going to be really upset.
David Price?
Is that who it is? I
The
can't
British,
really do
he's
impressions.
British,
Yeah,
right?
but he's great.
That's
in
what
that.
Pacino's like, oh no, you didn't count Friday. You forgot. It's a fucking Jew holiday. Are you going to sit there the whole time and not say nothing with your yellow legal pad? Who is that? I thought his name was Jimmy.
I wish I could do it, but how do you do it? Oh, train compartments smell vaguely as shit. I can't do it. How do you do it? Oh, vaguely. Oh, train compartments smell vaguely as shit. That's hard.
That's in the Tracy Morgan area family. Yeah.
We're in that family now.
Everybody, I'll do Al Pacino doing Tracy Morgan. Everybody got pregnant. I like a big girl with a doo-doo pamper.
Can you do Clint Eastwood?
I do a story about him.
I worked
Let me
with
hear
him.
you do it.
Well,
it hurts my throat.
I just remember him going, hey, Michael, I just want to say that you gave me a fantastic audition, and if you do that in the movie, I'll be very happy.
Oh, that's the worst thing to
Is
tell
it?
us. No, that's the worst thing to tell a guy like me.
I was so nervous.
That's almost as bad as just be yourself.
There's a scene where I'm supposed to like really be upset, cry, and I'm like, it's the first thing I'm doing.
What movie did you do?
It was
with
called
him?
Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil.
Oh, yeah.
And he sees that I have headphones on. I'm listening to like old songs that my mom used to listen to and trying to get emotional and feel it. I'm a young actor. I'm trying to do anything to get the emotions out. And he comes over and sits next to me and just pretends he's crying. He's like, and I go, what are you doing? And he goes, well, I'm just trying to lighten you up a little bit. And he goes, just take your time, let it happen naturally, and let me know when you're ready. And he walks off, and I take a beat, and I look up, and I see him, and I go like that, and he goes, Jack. Jack rolls the camera rolls, everybody starts moving, no action, right into me. He goes, well, how'd you feel? I go, I felt pretty good. How'd you feel? He goes, I felt great. You want another one? I go, unless you do. He's like, we're good. Let's move on. That was my first take. It was it.
Well, yeah. Wow.
He was so sweet, though.
Never says action.
Never says action.
Whenever you guys are ready.
Whenever you guys are ready.
So I got off easy. Me and Matt Damon in Hereafter.
Hereafter.
He goes, let me give you some advice, bro. You enjoy it because it's going to be over so fast the way he works. I'm like, all right. So we got to get off an elevator and there's a Steadicam walking backwards, and we walk down a hallway, and I'm explaining to him like, these are our new offices. Look, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, so he's like, you get one take, famously, right? So the Steadicam guy walked into a wall like 3 times, so I was completely off the hook. And those are his guys. He only works with that crew all the time.
You ever see him mad?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So, all right. He asked me once, would you like to join me for a Czechoslovakian beer? I was like, no, I don't drink. He goes, well, then I guess you're done for the day. And then he comes up to me the next day. He goes, my problem was never booze or drugs. My problem was always PUSSY.
Did he say that?
And I was like, okay.
You should have said, come again. Wow. Really? He did. He said that to you? PUSSY.
That sounds like Clint Eastwood.
Right there?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Do you do Clint Eastwood?
I do a little bit of Clint
Since
Eastwood.
you did it to me with the Chris Penn, I thought I'd give it back to you.
Last Comic Standing you created.
Co-created.
How did that come to you? What happened?
Peter Engel, who created Saved by the Bell, said, I have this great idea.
That's how he talks.
Yeah. Be weird if no.
It'd be weird if I was just making an accent.
He came up to me and goes, say, man, you cool? Like, that's kind of weird. He came to me with this idea for a show. I think it was called Comedy Condo. And I was like, I think you're close, but I don't think you're quite there yet. So I basically wanted kind of like the Real World or Big Brother, but with comics, because when I hang out with comics, it's the best. And if I was forced to live with comics, and then the only outlet was to say, I know I'm funnier than Michael, and then we go on stage, and then a third entity, the audience, actually votes. So it's nerve-wracking.
Jesus.
Yeah. So we got it to that. And then when they took the comics out of the house, I bowed out, costing myself millions of dollars.
Is that true?
Well, yeah. I could have
You just didn't like that.
I don't want to host, Star Search or Evening at the Improv. I want to.
But you're still an EP. You still get money.
Yeah.
Just not millions.
Yeah.
Now, we talked about Genie a little bit, but how did you meet her?
I interviewed her when I had a sports talk radio show. I interviewed her on the phone, and I was like, I think I'm getting some vibes here. Like total maniac.
Really?
Oh yeah, I'm nuts. I knew I made her laugh, and I knew my show and my interviewing style was not what she was used to.
And that's imperative, by the way.
Making them laugh?
I don't know. You know what's funny is
What is making them laugh?
Making them laugh
During sex.
Yeah, well, that's easy.
Until they fart.
Yes, that's not funny. But I was going to say, you making her laugh, I think that's what she loves is laughter. And then I'm like, well, she was with Phil. I don't know how funny Phil was. I don't know. Great guy. I don't know how funny he was.
Prop act.
But so
big lot of props.
So did you call her? Did you get in touch with her?
So I slid onto the Twitter DMs and invited her on the More Stories podcast. And she agreed. I had left my wife. I'm going through a divorce. I'm staying at the Beverly Hills Hotel. And when she texts me, okay, I'm on my way, I realize I'm in a hotel room with a bed and a chair. This is not a good look. So I went downstairs and got like this massive suite quickly.
You did?
Yeah. Because I can't, we're going to sit on the bed?
Yeah. No good.
And then she came, and when I went to get her at the elevator door opened, and it was like slow motion. I actually had love at first sight.
And she felt the same way?
No.
No.
She saw her version of it is she saw me. Then I invited her to watch me do stand up at the Improv. I'm like, if I could just get her to watch me do stand up,
And you bombed.
No way, dude. But I don't like having things in my pockets. Like right now, it's making me crazy. When I'm on stage or talking, I hate. So I go on stage and I had like a can of chewing tobacco, my keys, my wallet, my phone, some cash. So as I'm talking in the first 6 minutes, I just keep taking different things out of my pocket and sending it on the piano.
And you're aware of it.
Well, yeah, it's not a good look.
Yeah.
Having like big, bulky, stupid pockets while you're going to talk for an hour.
And but people are just watching going, what is he doing?
And she saw that and she goes, her exact words are, oh, he's a mess. So women love a fixer-upper, I guess.
And that's what you are.
I'm all fixed up.
But you sound fixed up.
I'm fixed up. You fixed up?
No.
Who is this guy?
I'm a work in progress.
Who is he?
Who's this guy? Are you fixed, Ryan?
Who's the guy
Who's
on my left, your right?
your son?
Fuckhead that he is.
That bitch who a girlfriend. They took my narcotics.
That's good.
Now, I know you know where they are.
You ever watch those nature shows? You ever see the one about the lion?
Dude, that was in the movie I was in.
Huge lion being out there. He don't want to move.
Yeah, the lioness messing with him. The hyenas.
Making trouble.
Cubs making trouble.
You know what's great about that speech?
What?
What is it? Pool Hall Millionaire?
Paul Junkies. I was in it. I was one of the leads in it.
Pool Hall Junkies?
Yeah.
That entire speech is whispered. All of it.
Don't
Until one day, that lion gets up and tears the shit out of everybody.
runs like the wind.
Every once in a while, you got to show the jackals.
Hyenas.
And that's the same read as this watch.
It is.
The jackals.
Don't just beat him.
Kick his ass. I'm going to go in the other room.
How do you know that?
Because I'm obsessed with Christopher Walken and great writing.
You know, I always say that.
I'm going to go in the other room. It's one of the hardest things ever. I'm going to go in the other room. You come out when you're ready.
You're right. You nailed it. That's it. And you know, they did that on one take. He just had it. Mars, who directed it, I remember one day, I was there.
The God of War?
And we're all, Mars, we're all standing there, the whole crew, everybody. And Walken's been in his trailer for a couple hours.
Just taking time for myself.
No, we're not ready for him. Finally, he walks out and says, this is day one he's supposed to work. He says, Maz, today's my last day. Turns around, walks out. Mars goes, oh, fuck. I'll be right back. And he ran out of the room to talk to Walken. And he got him. He was like, listen, it's my first movie and things are taking long. We're going to get you in there. But he was like, he just very subtly, today's my last day.
That was a perfect Walken.
Was it?
It was incredible. That was incredible.
I always say there's not many people that can do Walken right, because I was doing it when you did it. Everybody was calling me going, dude, there's another guy that could do Walken. It was you. Like Spacey I was doing it before Spacey.
Spacey's is too rhythmic. It makes too much sense.
Yeah.
It follows a
Anybody
meter that's
could
easy
do that.
to follow.
It's the subtleties.
You got to go. It's a logarithm, not an algorithm.
He does that because I worked with him and it's very much like, hello, little man. But he do these. He did
Private
this.
one
night.
A man he never met.
You said it, Joe. Bet it all. He does these weird things. I just love him. You ever work with assholes? Inside of You is brought to you by Shopify. I talk about Shopify all the time, Ryan. One, because they're our sponsor.
True.
And two, because I have used them since I opened up the Inside of You online store and the Talkville podcast store. And there's nobody better than Shopify, period. I could talk to you about this for hours. Nobody does selling better than Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet, and the not so secret with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going cha-ching. Now, if you don't really know what Shopify is, I'll give you an example. If you're starting a small business, middle-sized business, if you're like the Three Little Bears, or a big business, it doesn't matter. Shopify is there for you. And if you want to sell products, it's so easy to navigate. Everything's right there on the page. You add a product, you upload a picture, you put a description, you put the price. I got a little scale that cost me like $5 or whatever. And you put your product on the scale. It says, 10 ounces. You make it active and boom, it will keep track of the analytics, how your product's doing compared to last month or last year. It's so easy to use. And shipping is a breeze. If I can do this, I promise to God, you can do this. Shopify. Look, if you're growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Why is that, Ryan?
Because businesses that sell more sell on Shopify.
Absolutely. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at Shopify.com/inside, all lowercase. Go to Shopify.com/inside to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/inside.
Why'd we stop talking about walking?
Well,
Who gets
'cause-
tired of that?
I know, but did you ever work with any assholes that you had to like kind of had to talk with, or
No, not really.
no, nobody on set? You're like, that guy's an asshole, or that actress, she's really, she's a
really.
pain in the ass. No,
Not really. I mean, I got to take on. If I have a problem with anybody, I'm 50% of it, right? Michael's like, who are you?
no. Sometimes I know. God, this intervention, man.
The walking. It's something I wanted to tell you about that.
About
too.
walking.
Oh, I had to cry in Suicide Kings.
Oh,
I had to cry
that's great.
like a little baby. I spend my days surrounded by these two morons. Things to do in Denver when you do.
It's so good.
And I'm like, I'm trying to cry. I'm thinking of my dead grandfather, my
Yep.
cousin that got run over. Like and I look at Sean Patrick Flannery. I go, how do you do it? Because he was just,
How do you cry?
and he goes, you just believe this shit until it's sad. And I was like, oh, that's way better. Instead of thinking about stuff that's not here. Like, I'm going to
Yeah.
believe that here is so sad it makes me cry. And also the David Mamet thing is, well, if you don't cry, that guy didn't cry. Like, it's just take the, like, because
Yeah.
you're either thinking, wow, I'm not crying yet, or wow, I'm really crying, which means there's nothing being connected. So anyway, I'm like hyping myself up to cry, and okay, we're rolling. Hey, Jay, what? What's the name of the girl who plays the nanny? I go, Fran Drescher. Action. I would like to bang her.
And then you have to cry.
Yeah.
Did you cry
Sure.
of laughter?
I just did this, like, fucking. I just did the.
I just watched a thing. Nicholson. It was a clip, and Nicholson with the director. I forgot the director's name, but he goes, there. I guess I have to get into it. He's like, Wendy, darling. He does this whole thing, and he's like, well, I have to cry in the scene, and I'm not going to do it, and he's doing this, and the director's like, I need you to be emotional, and she's like, I don't think I should cry here. I'm not going to do it. And they're like, he gets the crew. Everybody's out except the boom guy with the microphone and the camera. And he's got the camera and he's got the monitor and the director. Everybody's gone except the actor and Nicholson. And
Yeah, that was on.
Did you see that?
Yeah, he was like sitting on a park or something.
Yeah. And he just doesn't look at Nicholson. He goes, action. And, Nicholson starts to break down. He's like, yeah, well, there's when he starts crying his thing, and then afterwards he says to him, well, how was it? He goes, I didn't see it because I fucking finally do this thing and you don't even watch me.
Doesn't seem like a nice guy.
Nicholson, I think he was probably really easy in the Shining days and the early days, and then I bet he was just like, apparently he has to powder his nose still or he'll die, so he probably still does it because if you stop now at this age, you're going to have a heart attack. It's like all of a sudden you stop smoking, you get cancer.
Can you do Nick Cage?
I've never tried.
That's the one I always wish I could do.
That's it.
Really? No.
Wasn't that it? That was pretty it.
I'm Jay, by the way. Oh, wait.
No, that was great. I swear.
But it comes and goes. That's
hard.
That's the hard part. If it comes and goes, you never have the confidence to just bring it out. It's like you're kind of bringing out your broken toys. Like, this one kind of works.
Can you do Malkovich?
I wish I could.
I could do a little.
I wish Bill Hader was here.
Remember when he says,
I wish you were Bill Hader.
me too. I love him. Can you get him on the podcast?
I wish.
Mine
or yours?
Yours.
You got to come on mine.
I will. In the line
Not this year.
In the Line of Fire, which is one of my favorite movies.
Frank. His name is.
Frank.
Clint's
Clint
name is
Eastwood
Frank.
goes, he's on the phone with Malkovich. You know this one. And he says, you have a rendezvous with my asshole, motherfucker.
Ew.
And then Malkovich says, no,
What you couldn't possibly know, Frank, is that they sent my friend, my comrade in arms to my home to kill me. I never lied to you, Frank, and I never will.
That's very good.
something like that.
No, that's right there. I like when Bill Hader was doing it with him.
Yeah.
And he goes, I don't sound anything like that. He goes, that's exactly what you sound like.
No, that's exactly how you sound. You do this whole thing.
And the guy married to
No, I don't.
Maggie Gyllenhaal, what's his name? It's like an Icelandic name.
Ryan? I don't know.
Is that a Skarsgård or something?
Yeah, one of them.
Gregory Skarsgård?
Yeah, Lars Larson. Magnuson said,
Phil Skarsgård.
the trick to that impression is act like English is your second language. And you're
No, it's like
you're figuring
this.
it
I'm
out.
thinking of that while I'm doing it. Like if you're,
Yeah.
Why did we just join a British band? What was that?
I don't know, mate.
Here's my Gary Oldman.
Let's not be boring. You want him to be a pauper?
You know what's funny is I did an English accent for this audition for
That made me very happy.
for a voiceover, and my agent says, "Yeah, don't do the British anymore." And I go,
I know. I've been there.
I can do a little Gary Oldman, like
You're
when
like,
he's like,
I'm gonna go in. I'm really gonna wreck it.
Yeah,
And
it's
they're
like,
like, yeah, do it
well,
without
when
that.
you're dealing in an industry like this, you've got to have a great ego.
Do him in
And Francis Ford Coppola.
True Romance. The girl on that TV
that
with her
makes us
breasts.
practically related. Who the fuck are you?
You just been clocking me.
You just been clocking. Yeah, what does he
Is
say?
it White Boy Day?
He
No,
says,
man,
I'm
it
here
is.
to see Alabama. He's like, what is
I don't remember.
I
It's
remember
so
that.
ridiculous. Like the balls to pull that off.
It's my wife. It's like, well, that makes us practically related. Yeah. Anyway, this is, I can't believe it's been an hour. Listen, this is called Shit Talking with Jay Mohr. This is a rapid fire. These are my top tier patrons, patreon.com/Virgo. Here we go. Raj, tell me about a recent time a friend did something special for you.
Who's Raj?
Raj is a patron who supports the podcast.
Oh, something special. It happens kind of every day in sobriety. That sounds like hootie footie. I remember when I had 90 days, I took a 90-day chip at a meeting and I started crying. And then that night I went to a meeting in the Palisades and a guy there took a piece of white, the guy that sets up the room just took a piece of white paper and put it on the chair where I always sat. And just a magic marker, it said JJ 90 days.
Oh,
And I was like, this is amazing.
that's an act of kindness.
Yeah, that was a blink of an eye 3 years and 10
You
months
cried
ago.
again.
I did.
Don G, what are the pros and cons of acting versus stand-up?
Stand up, I control all the variables and I'm out of there in 50 fucking minutes. There's no waiting around.
Your special was longer than that.
Yeah, but and when I'm on the road, I got to do 2 shows, so it's like, let's go.
Boom. Leanne, what and who makes you laugh?
My sons make me laugh. I make myself laugh.
I think that's important. My dad says if you laugh at your own jokes, you're a moron, though. That's what he told me as a
I'm
kid.
totally a moron. It's
I'm
my
a
last
moron
name
too,
for crying out loud. When a fat woman tries to get out of her car and her titty hits the horn and it scares her, that makes me laugh.
Kaylee Sue, you're given 24 hours to do whatever the hell you want without any consequences. What's the plan?
I'm just gonna take a nap.
Cicely, what is the best life advice you ever received?
I don't know if I ever got like life advice from anybody. Have you?
Yeah.
Like I have no
My
memory of like, let me tell you something, kid.
My best therapist, psychiatrist, he said to me, he goes,
Jewish?
I don't know.
Okay.
But he says, you know, I think when you're able to really love someone and allow someone to love you, that's when you'll be at your happiest.
That's beautiful.
And I cried. I was like, wow, how am I going to be loved?
Because when you get sober, they love you until you love yourself. Like they just keep like, wow, we're so glad you're here.
Yeah.
And they mean it. You're not with a woman right now?
I've been dating a lady, yeah. Okay. And she's incredible. She's,
you know,
boy, I'm the closest to me I've ever been with someone else.
And you're probably meeting you for the first time though. And it's a little scary.
Yeah, I'm like, well, you know, this guy, you want to be with this guy? Like, this is like.
But the guy, whatever guy you were just pointing at is not the guy she's with. It's your narration since DNA up until that moment. And it's not accurate. You're a bad narrator. That's the best life advice I ever got. Alan Gutman said, we are bad narrators.
That's the second
If I
best
go to
advice I
South
ever
Boston and I meet an old timer and I tell them I know Joey McIntyre from New Kids on the Block, and they're going to go, fucking Joe. I remember fucking Joey. Hey, fucking, but look at the face I'm making. Joey McIntyre is a happily married man with many, many children. He's success. He's not, you know.
Yeah.
But those guys got into that kid when he was like 6, 7, and 8, and they made an indelible dent in that psyche where he can't I don't know why I'm talking about Joey McIntyre. But you know what I mean? Like you, Michael, there's people along your way. There's bullies, guys that bring me into the woods just to fucking beat me up. And I would willingly follow them into the woods, or it would be worse. Like those guys made dents in this.
Yeah.
I became a dented can. And that's how I feel is that, but I am not that.
Yeah.
Like
No.
the guy my wife loves isn't the guy I wake up thinking I am. And how I perceive something, that's why I call Cowboy Dan every morning. I will always view myself through the lens of self-seeking, selfish, fearful, and victim, or that's how I'm incapable of looking at myself objectively. I call another guy in the morning that's walked me from when I was broken up until the man I am with you now, who saw me grow and become this walking man and taught me to live like a good man. And that guy looks at me objectively and goes, I don't know if that's a good idea, dude. Or it's not about you, dude. It's not about you. Go help somebody else.
Wow.
So that guy, you go, who's going to love this? JJ, have no idea who that guy is. I see this guy that I'm always happy when I see him. And I can't imagine anybody has a negative feeling around you because you're just a positive light of a man. So there's no
Can
way.
I borrow him?
Who's that?
Dan.
Yes.
Oh, I'd love to. He's the best.
You want to hear a great Cowboy Dan story?
Yes.
We're at Tampa Airport at 6 a.m. Everybody's just hungover, crushed, and they walk this old black man in a wheelchair and they put him right next to Cowboy Dan. And Cowboy Dan goes,
Were you here for business or pleasure?
guy's like old. And he goes, business.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a singer.
Have I ever heard of you?
I'm Johnny Mathis.
Oh. You ever play China?
He goes, yes, I have.
You ever sing in Chinese?
It's fucking 6. It's still dark out.
What are you talking about?
He goes, you ever sing in Chinese? And Johnny Mathis goes, I have. He goes,
Let me hear it.
6:05 a.m. I'm 2 seats from Johnny Mathis going, he shall die for chances.
No.
Yes.
Johnny Mathis is singing.
In Chinese at the gate. I get up to take a leak on the airplane. I come back. I see Johnny Mathis.
He still sings like an angel.
He looks at me like you're with that guy I love.
How cool Johnny Mathis, too.
Yeah.
Most people be like, get the fuck, what are you doing? I don't have time for this.
Cowboy Dan he wears you down.
No, but I'm saying.
No.
He wears you down.
Oh, no.
He wears you down.
I've seen him turn. He just does not. He has no, like he's on the spectrum where it's like he has no idea he's annoying the shit out of you. And eventually you just start smiling and talking to him.
If Taylor R., if you can go back to any time in your life.
Very
what would
quickly,
it
you
be?
got off that topic of you being a bad narrator. I know it makes you uncomfortable.
No, I took it in.
Okay.
I really took it in.
What's this Taylor want? What was it?
Well, if you can go back to a place in your life that you were really happy.
Jersey Shore, 8, 9, 10 years old, had my own rowboat. I go out crabbing by myself and I bring dinner back for my whole family. Nice sunburn where they put sunscreen on
You brought dinner for your whole family back
Absolutely.
as an 8-year-old, 9-year-old?
Absolutely.
That's pretty impressive.
Those were the days that your mom put sunscreen on you because you're burnt.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Like she put you to bed with copper toe number 8.
Tell me about the podcast.
More stories.
More stories.
MOHR stories.
MOHR
It's
stories.
available everywhere.
Everywhere.
Been doing it for 10 years.
What are some of your favorite interviews?
Perry Farrell was great because his wife
Dude.
asked if I could drive him home. I was like, yeah, I could do that. And I love Jane's Addiction.
Dude,
Steve
so
Gorman.
you know Perry Farrell now?
If I saw him, I'd go up to him.
Oh,
and
you wouldn't
say-
be like, hey, what's up, Perry?
I could text his wife.
Yeah.
Steve Gorman, drummer for the Black Crowes, was great. Bootsy Collins had the best thing ever on my podcast.
What'd he
The
say?
single best thing I ever heard on my podcast. He was talking about when he was playing with James Brown at 18 years old, and they hadn't been paid yet. And his manager says, you go in there and tell him you want $300 a week, says me. And James Brown's like this scary guy, you know. And he goes in, James Brown's in a robe. He's all coked out. He's like, what do you want, man? And he goes, well, so-and-so told us, you know, we should ask you for $300. He goes, he told you that? I'll give you $350. And he goes, and back then, it's like 68. He goes, and back then, that was like $1 million. And then he looks down and he looks back up at me and goes, it was $1 million. Like he was fighting tears. And I will never forget it. Wearing a NASCAR jacket and the big star glasses.
That's what it meant to him.
But that's what it meant to you, right?
Yeah.
back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
When I would drive 6 hours to get a $50 bill when I was still in high school, that was $1 million.
I remember like thinking $100,000, you're set for life.
Yeah. Oh.
I thought if I make I mean, from small town in Indiana, if I make $100,000, I've made it. I'm done. I'm retiring.
It never ends. Wait till you have kids.
And-
You'll be a great dad.
Don't say that.
Well, sorry. You'll be a terrible dad.
Thank you. Thank you. That scares me. I'm a little too old for that. I think when you have kids.
What are you, 40?
I'm 52. Yeah. Yeah. Once at an older age, aren't chances that, there could be complications?
Chances are.
Chances are.
Not you. You're strong like a bull.
Strong like a bull.
So how do they do these questions? Am I leaving money on I don't make any money from my podcast, but you got this big mansion.
It isn't a mansion.
The first thing you said to me when I walked in, I know you have a much bigger house than this.
Yeah, that's true.
I live in an apartment.
But I don't understand that. So you have it's a nice apartment.
It's a townhouse. I'm on the first and second floor with my son. And then Genie's in the apartment above us.
So you have 3 adjacent apartments. Well,
No,
on top of each
the
other.
first 2 floors is one apartment with its own garage. That's where I raised my son. One of my 2 sons. And then Genie's
But
above.
it's a beautiful apartment, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I thought for sure you'd have a house.
I used to have a house.
Do you want to have a house, or you like having a nice big apartment?
I don't give a shit. It's nice.
You don't care either way.
Oh, okay.
That doesn't matter to you.
Walk to Starbucks every day, put the dogs in the stroller, walk to the gym.
Life's good for you.
Life's great. It's a simple life. There's not a lot.
I like this.
You're a big thinker.
Am I?
You're a future tripper. Like, oh, but what if this? What if, right?
Doomsday.
Yeah.
Well.
I'm just not a lot going on up here. I got like 2 Legos that kind of float. And when I have an idea, they click together. And then I'm like, oh, that's good.
That's enough.
I keep index cards next to my bed or in the drawer. And then I go, before I go to sleep, like, what do I got to do tomorrow? I'm going to get up at 5. I do like a little itinerary. And I don't have to worry about it.
I like this.
I love that we're friends.
I do
I love
too.
that you know unequivocally that I think you're fantastic.
It means the world to me.
And I wish I let you off the hook sooner, that you were on the defensive.
Well, the fact that you came on the podcast, I was like, all right, cool, but maybe he's just promoting something. He doesn't want to really be here.
Yeah. I would, no.
No, but this was really a joy, and I appreciate you being so open and honest about everything.
Sure.
And I think it really helped. It helped me. There's so many things you said that just really impacted me. So
You're a bad narrator.
I'm a
Remember
bad
that.
narrator. I was just going to say that.
You have empirical data to disprove however you're negatively thinking about yourself.
Yeah. You're selfish. No, you're not. You just did this for this person. This is for this person. You're this. No, you're not. You always have answer your thoughts.
Yeah. But at some point in your life that served you. It just doesn't serve you anymore. It's
Yeah.
like, we're going to run the ball in the first half. And then you're down like 40-0. It's like, so why are you still running the ball in the second half? This isn't working.
This isn't working.
You're miserable.
Yeah, but then
Look
what
at you.
What if throwing
She
it?
really did a fucking number on you. Look at you. You fucking stuttering prick. You fucking.
Am I funny?
What the fuck? You fucking prick. You.
I love you, man.
I love you,
Thanks.
buddy. Thank you, everybody.
You're awesome. He kept it real.
He really does.
Yeah, he's one of those guys where you're not gonna get it. He's not a bullshitter. He'll have fun. He'll laugh, but if you ask him something, he's gonna tell you.
Yeah.
Isn't that what you got?
Yeah, it was a lot of bits, a lot of fun, a lot of good stories, and then and then some out of nowhere he just drops like a nugget of wisdom. You're like, oh yeah,
Yeah, that's exactly what it
Yeah.
was. It was like fun, and then oh shit, that
that
was
got
kinda
real
s-
for a second.
That got real. So thanks for keeping it real, Jay. I appreciate you. Love to Genie. Love that woman. She's extraordinary. I know you know this. Thank you for being here today and supporting this podcast. Again, if you want to join Patreon, patreon.com/InsideYou and support the podcast, give back. That would help. And why don't we get into the top tiers? These are the folks that really give back. And this combination of top tiers and how deep is your love tiers. If you want to join that tier too, some really cool perks. Here we go. Nancy D, Little Lisa, Yukiko, Brian H, Niko P, Rob L, Robbie, Jason, Dreamweaver, Sophie's Choice, M, Raj C, Jennifer N, Stacey L, Jamal F, Janelle B, Mike, and Eldanzsupremo.
99 Mohr, Santiago M, Madi S, Kendrick F, Belinda N,
Dave Hole.
Dave H, Brad
Dave
D,
H. Dave H.
Ray H,
Ray
Tabitha T,
Mm,
Tom N,
yes.
Talia M,
Talia.
Betsy D, Rhiannon C, Michelle A, Jeremy C,
Eugene and Leah, Mel S, Eric H, Oracle, Amanda R, William K, Kevin E, Jor-El, Jammin J, and Leanne J, Luna R, Jules M, Jessica B, Kaylee J, Charlene A, Marion Louise L, Romeo the Band, Frank B, Jen. Hi, Jen. Is that Dockerman? April
lost
R,
my spot.
Randy S. I'll just read them. Claudia, Rachel D, Nick W, Stephanie Evan, or
Stefan,
Charlene A, Don G, Jenny B, 76, Tina E, Angie Tracy, Keith B, Heather and Greg, or
Grether,
yes, Ellie K, Ben B, Pierre C, Sultan. I just sent Sultan something in the mail. And Ingrid C, Dave T, Dave L, Jeff G, Kareem H, Brian B. We love you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting this podcast. And from the Hollywood Hills in Hollywood, California, I'm Michael Rosenbaum.
he is Michael Rosenbaum. I'm Ryan Tays.
That's right. He is Ryan Tays. I'll wave to the camera. We love you. And truthfully, this is true. Truism here. Be good to yourself. All right? Just be good to yourself. I'll see you next week.